So this is gonna be the last chapter of the second course, which is prompt engineering with OpenAI API. Now we're gonna tackle this, then we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna start with the project for the first project of the whole path. So I'm gonna put a bit up the volume, I think, of the microphone. I think it should be good. Okay. Let's see, it's all good. Let's see if it's all good with my streaming. Let's just wait until I see the. Let's just wait until I see. Perfect. So let's start with it.
Let's explore prompt engineering for chatbot development. Effective prompts help optimize the use of LLMs. But why is prompt engineering vital for chatbot development? Predicting user questions is challenging, even with valuable data on site searches and queries. This is where prompt engineering can guide the chatbot's behavior in answering questions, ensuring reliable and effective responses. How do we achieve this using the OpenAI API? Recall that every message we send has a designated role. Until now, we've only examined user messages due to the emphasis on user prompts. We will focus on system messages to build a chatbot, since these guide the model behavior when answering users. The chat completion endpoint is ideal for chatbot development. Via this endpoint, we send messages as lists, each with a specific role. In this example, we send a system message that directs the chatbot to act as an expert data scientist, simplifying complex ideas, followed by a user message seeking an explanation of prompt engineering. In output, we observe how the response uses an analogy of instructing a robot to prepare a sandwich. Previously, we wrapped code into the getResponse function for a single prompt. Now, we will modify it to receive two prompts, a system and a user prompt. We will have to pass two messages to the function whenever we call it. The first thing to specify in a system's message is the chatbot's purpose. For instance, if we build a financial chatbot, we can give the model this information through the system prompt, and when a user asks a question like, "Who are you?" the model will know how to answer. Specifying the purpose will let the chatbot know what questions to expect. Clear purpose improves domain-accurate assistance, while vague or undefined purposes may lead to irrelevant answers. We should also incorporate clear response guidelines to direct the model's behavior, including the target audience, expected tone, output length, and output structure. We won't need to define everything, but should be specific about what suits our use case. In the example of a financial chatbot, we might direct the model to respond precisely, formally, and objectively. Suppose a user asks for the chatbot's opinion about cryptocurrencies through a user prompt. We see how the chatbot answers precisely, starting with the definition of cryptocurrencies, and then detailing their advantages and disadvantages to remain objective. And finally, it provides a summary. We'll also want to consider using conditional prompts for behavior guidance, guiding the model on how to respond. For example, we might not want the financial chatbot to answer queries not related to finance. To do so, we tell the model in the system prompt to answer financial questions to the best of its knowledge. And for the other questions, the answer should be, "Sorry, I only know about finance." Consequently, if a user asks about the weather, the chatbot will clarify that its only domain is finance. Time to practice.
All right. So creating a dual prompt getResponse function. The following exercise will be based on the calling chat completions. Okay, as before. And with two prompts, a system prompt and a user prompt. To prepare for this, in this exercise, you will create a dual prompt getResponse. There are two prompts, an input, a system prompt, and a user prompt. Okay. Then you will apply this function to any example of your choice. Assign the role to this message. Okay, so I think we need to here do system. Then in this content, we should put the system prompt, and this should be the user. Here should be the user prompt, and then we're passing the messages here. And then this should run properly. Response, getResponse. And I think this is defined globally, so I can pass the system prompt and I can pass the user prompt. So I can just define whatever I want. Okay, you are an expert software engineer. Please, you're an expert. Sorry, AI engineer. Please design a learning learning path if I am already. Design a learning path if I am already a developer. So in this case, I do this, and then I need to. You're an expert AI engineer. Please design the learning path if I'm already a developer. All right, that's good. So I guess we're gonna go here to the 30 dual prompt. Then we're gonna copy all of this, but in this case we're just gonna import a client. So from OpenAPI client, get client. So I'm importing the client already, and this should be good. I'm just gonna run it because I think this is gonna be our base for the rest of the code. This is 30. Oh, what happened here? I need to go inside of here. Good. Design patterns, singleton factory, version control. Nice. Design a learning path to become an AI engineer. Yeah, that's good. Let's submit the answer. Submit the answer. Awesome. Okay. Customer support chatbot. You're tasked with developing a customer support chatbot for an e-commerce company specializing in electronics. Chatbot will assist user with inquiries, order tracking, and troubleshooting common issues. You aim to create a system prompt that clearly defines the chatbot purpose and provides response guidelines that set the tone for interactions and specify the intended audience. A sample user prompt is provided. All right. So chatbot purpose. So I'm gonna do UR customer support chatbot for e-commerce company specializing in electronics. Audience guidelines. our target audience are these tone guidelines. User-friendly tone while interacting with the customers. All right. So we have the chat purpose, audience guidelines, tone guidelines. All of this is, I'll put just a dot here just to separate sentences and the space. User for the tone interactive with the customer. Did your chatbot purpose? Ah, press the track and trace it with common issues. Okay, so this is good. I'll do here. Customer support chat bot. And well, this get response is there. Just need to create this one. So I'm calling the steps the same function as before, as the previous exercise, but with a more complex system prompt. All right. All right. Let's continue. Behavioral control of a customer support chatbot. When the company started using your chatbot from the previous exercise, they realized they'd like to incorporate two conditions to improve these interactions. They want the customer support chatbot to ask for an order number if not provided, and to express empathy for customers going through technical issues. Okay, that's good. They have assigned this update to you. You need to append these conditions to the base system prompt. So that represents the prompt you engineer in the previous exercise and obtain a refined system prompt. So what it's asking me is like to have this base system prompt plus the other number condition plus the technical issue condition. So in this order, I'm gonna put if they submitted a query about an order without specifying an order number, please ask the user for their order number. So then here if the user is reporting a technical issue, start the response with this. So for example, we can see, I'm sorry to hear about you. So this is a technical issue, it started with this, so it's good. Track my recent order. Could you please provide with your order number so I can assist you with the tracking, with tracking your recent order? Nice. Okay, it works. I think we're gonna 32. And then we do this. Have the chatbot for audience gaslight out guidelines. And then we do this. Also control guidelines, system prompt, order number, condition, technical issue, condition. So this would be the base system prompt and refine system prompt. Good. I'm just gonna test it here. And see what do we get. So it's replied to the response 1. And regarding the I ran the previous one. Here I should have 2 responses. Yeah, I see it here. I'm just gonna rename it. This is gonna be customer support behavioral control. All right. Let's now do role-playing prompts for chatbots.
An important aspect to discuss when talking about chatbot development is role-playing prompts. Let's see what these are. Role-playing prompts instruct the chatbot to adopt a specific role, like an actor in a play being given a character to portray. This means adjusting tone, vocabulary, and behavior to fit the role's requirements, providing tailored responses instead of generic ones. This approach ensures effective interactions, especially for domain-specific chatbots. The chatbot learns these roles from its training data. We'll start with an example to understand role-playing prompts, then move to implementation. Imagine we're developing a chatbot for a company offering high-tech products. A customer asks about the technical specifications of a certain product. We've defined 3 roles for the chatbot: customer support agent, product manager, and sales engineer. How would each of these roles answer the user query? The customer support agent provides general guidance, directs customers to the website for more details, and offers assistance. The product manager highlights strategic benefits, focusing on how the product aligns with goals and professional needs. The sales engineer focuses on technical specifics, discussing processor details, features, and security. From this example, we can see how each role can affect the response. And now let's move to implementation. We have to tell the model to act as a specific role, no matter what that role is. For instance, we can ask the model to act as an expert financial analyst and then ask it to offer insights about retirement planning for individuals approaching retirement age. We see how the response gets shaped as if a real expert in financial analysis is providing it, highlighting several considerations to remember when planning their retirement. Role-playing prompts involve assigning specific requirements beyond assigning a role. For instance, although two journalists share the same profession, they might differ in traits such as personality and expertise. For example, we can ask the chatbot to embody a seasoned technology journalist specializing in thorough tech industry analysis. Then, ask about the impact of AI on job markets. Here, we can see how the model responds as a journalist with the qualities we described, providing a detailed analysis of the topic in the article. As a final note, we should keep in mind that role-playing does not eliminate the need to specify other requirements like behavior or response guidelines. For instance, in the journalist chatbot scenario, if we wanted to exclusively handle tech-related questions, we modify the prompt to test this condition and let it display an appropriate message if not satisfied. If a user asks about a topic like American literature, the chatbot will clarify its specialization in technology. Time to put this into practice.
Okay. Learning advisor chatbot. You're developing a personalized learning advisor chatbot that recommends textbooks for users. The chatbot role is to receive queries from learners about their background, experience, and goals. Recommends a learning path of textbooks, including both beginner level and more advanced options. Your job is to create a role-playing system prompt for the textbook. Recommendation chatbot highlighting what is expected to do while interacting with the users. Act as a learning advisor who can interpret learner queries as described. Already interested in learning about Python technologies and machine learning. Can you recommend me some books? Okay, so I should put act act as a learning advisor who can interpret learner queries. Can interpret learner queries. Understand their background, experience, and goals, and recommends a learning part of textbooks, including included both beginner and more advanced options. So nice. So let's just copy this code here. This will be 33. All plain. worked. Adding guidelines for learning advisor chatbot. In the previous exercise, you build a chatbot to recommend textbooks. However, the company has identified a need for a data to ensure more efficient recommendations. You're provided with the base prompt. Wasn't a green price response that recommends a tailored learning path of textbooks, including both beginning and advanced level. Incorporate behavior guidelines and response guidelines. These guidelines will help control the chatbot behavior and ensure it offers more effective and tailored textbook recommendations. All right, so we need to put. So we can just copy all of this, I think. So we need to ask a user about their background experience and goals whenever any of this is not provided in the prompt. So this is in the behavior guidelines, and in the response guidelines, we need to put as a limiter recommend no more than 3 textbooks. Good. So I just need to copy this. This should be 34. Sorry, I sneezed. Nice. And then I will put this here. Good. Role playing guidelines. So, for example, in this part, I see that the user prompt is not giving any sort of background. So then, therefore, in the behavior guidelines, the chatbot response should be like ask the user about their background. So if I run this Python 34, if I wouldn't put that, it will just like right away recommend something without even asking this question. Yeah, see, to provide you with the best recommendation, you please share your background in programming and data analysis. That's nice. Okay, incorporating external context.
One key consideration when creating a chatbot is incorporating some external context. Let's explore why that's important and how we can achieve it. We use a pre-trained language model when building a chatbot using the OpenAI API. Such models only recognize specific information they have been trained on. However, we might want our chatbot to know more than that. We should provide it with some context about the missing information to ensure it responds accurately and effectively to user queries. But why does certain information seem to be missing? There are two main reasons. First, language models are trained on vast web data. If we ask about events after the model's training or knowledge cut off, they may struggle or invent answers unless they have access to real-time browsing. For example, a model trained in 2021, when asked about 2023 financial trends, might say, I apologize, but as of my last update in 2021, I don't have information about financial trends in 2023. Second, the information might not be publicly available, so the model wouldn't know the answer as the information would have been outside the scope of their training. For example, if we ask the chatbot to act as a study buddy and then ask the name of a favorite instructor, it won't know it since this is personal information. We need to provide additional context for the chatbot to answer users' questions. This context can be given as samples of previous conversations or through the system's initial prompt. We can guide the model with sample conversations. For example, we can tell the model via a system message that it's a customer service chatbot. We then provide a user prompt asking about services and an assistant response listing them. The model will use this context to answer questions such as how many services are offered. A disadvantage of this method is that it may require many sample questions and answers. A more effective way of doing this is to provide the context inside the system prompt. Suppose a company named ABC Tech Solutions wants the model to know about their services. The company should define them initially inside a string variable. Then, the system prompt will include these services and the classic parts of the system prompt we've learned about, including the chatbot's purpose and behavior guidelines. When a user asks about the company's services, the model will respond with 3 services from the system prompt: web application development, mobile app development, and custom software solutions. One thing to note is that these methods will work well for relatively small contexts because any LLM will have some limitations in the amount of context it can handle. When a large amount of context is needed, more sophisticated techniques should be applied, which are outside the scope of this course. Time to practice.
Got it. All right. Providing context through sample conversations. So suppose this is a delivery service named My Personal Delivery that offers a wide range of delivery options for. Are we still streaming? Yes, we're good. We're good. Suppose that this is a delivery service named My Personal Delivery that offers a wide range of delivery options for various items. You want to create a customer service chatbot that supports customers with whatever they need. Okay. You provide a context question. Okay, so this is a sample question and answer and the context answer about the items on the computer delivery, and you will test if the model recognizes this context through a newest user prompt. Define a system prompt that defines the purpose of the chatbot and guides it to answer queries in a gentle way. So I'm gonna do act as a customer service chatbot company named My Personal Delivery. Which is a company that offers a wide range of options of delivery options for various. The company is your provider contact. Okay. So you should answer the queries in a gentle way. And here in the messages, we should put first the system. Then here we put the system prompt, then the assistant. No, this is the first question of the user, so it's like a context question. Then the assistant should be giving the context answer. So these two are the sample, is the sample question and answer. And this third one, is the final question. So if I, ooh, what is going on in here? Unmatched. Why so much of it's here? Okay, maybe let's run it locally. And this exercise is called context conversation. So I'm going to this. I'm gonna run it locally, so this should be Python 35. It worked good. So maybe I need to reload the page. Let's see if this worked. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Let's submit. Perfect. Providing context through system prompt. Now you want to use the system prompt in order to provide context for a chatbot development. Instead of relying on sample conversations, you are provided with a detailed service description. You will then test a user query to see if the model recognizes the context effectively. So this service description, it's already defined in the environment. So I'm gonna copy this. And then I'm gonna put the service description. And then in the response, I'm gonna do the so I don't. So I should do the system prompt and the user prompt here. And that should make it. Chip 36 context true system prompt true. It's English word. True system prompt. Got it. And then I just copy this. Here I'm gonna define this something similar. Let's call it system and user. That and here I'll define system prompt, then user prompt. Then I will have here two messages. One is the system. It's gonna be the system prompt, and the other one is the user, which is gonna be the user prompt. So in that case, on the 36, we import from get response. We get responses to user. And then in that case, we can already just copy and paste this one here. Yeah. The only missing part here is the service description, and I'm gonna run this again so I can just like get what is in the service description, because I need to define it here. So I'll do service description. And I should do here response. Just to know what are the limits, and I'm gonna put three columns, because three quotes, because then I think there's gonna be multi-line. Yeah. That's gonna be here. So if I do Python 36, it will give me a more robust response to my question. And the same in there. Nice. So I can just submit my code here. Oh, incorrect submission. Why? The system chatbot. So let's do it like act as a customer searches for the service that responds in a gentle way and point to a service. It's asking me that. So it wants me to do that df string. No problem. The service description is delimited by the three backticks. And here I can put 1, 2, 3, 3. And then I just run the code. Whoa. And terminate it. Okay, so here. Okay, and then submit. Perfect. I'm just gonna copy it in this way, just to make sure that whenever someone wants to check this, they can run it locally. Nice. Let's receive the congratulations of finishing the second course.
Congratulations on completing the course. Throughout this learning journey, you've mastered the intricacies of prompt engineering for optimal results with language models. In Chapter 1, you laid the foundation by understanding prompt engineering principles and best practices, including delimited and conditional prompts and structured outputs. In Chapter 2, you leveled up your skills with advanced techniques like few-shot, multi-step, chain of thought, self-consistency, and iterative prompting to tackle complex tasks. Then, you applied all these techniques in Chapter 3, where you ventured into real-world business applications relying on techniques like text summarization, expansion, and more. In Chapter 4, you became a chatbot virtuoso and mastered system prompt design through techniques like role-playing and adding external context. It's worth remembering that while prompt engineering enhances performance and yields better outcomes from a language model, such models have limitations, just like any other system. And even with precise prompt engineering, desired results are not always guaranteed. For this reason, you should always review the answers meticulously for accuracy and potential bias, and avoid using them mindlessly to ensure the most optimal performance. Thank you for being a part of this incredible journey. Stay curious, stay creative, and continue to push the boundaries of prompt engineering.
That's awesome, guys.
Congratulations on completing the course. Throughout this learning journey, you've mastered the intricacies of prompt engineering for optimal results with language models. In Chapter 1, you laid the foundation by understanding prompt engineering principles.
A second. I'm gonna give it the. I think some of the chapters might be repetitive with the first course on the associate, but might be good to give it a check. But anyway, I think it was good. So yeah, because some of the parts of the code were incomplete. I mean, were but which parts? Which parts? Everything is 100%. This part here. So I assume that I am assuming that this one that says review, I need to, because sometimes it wasn't loading my okay. Okay, you know what? Maybe I'll just like because I don't know why it's doing that. Uh, but it's still appearing me 91%. I really don't know why. Maybe I'll just take a hint and show the answer. Then I'll just copy this here and then submit the answer. Because I already did this, but the problem is that for some reason it's like, good job, you have completed chapter 1. Oh, ooh. So I finished this. Super nice. I think now, okay, now I finish with this. This one I also finished, but we had this problem before that we were trying to run some of the code here, and then for some reason the environment inside it wasn't working, so I need to run back again. But we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna just chill a bit, maybe walk my dog, and then I'm going to start with this project. So it's good, guys. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing. Uh, how long we have been live already? 52 minutes. That's good. So let's take a break, and I'll come back with the second part. Wait, not the second part. It's already finished the second course. Now we're gonna jump into the project right away.